and suffered a traumatic brain injury, fractured a wrist, dislocated a hip. But in the process of all that, when I woke up in the ICU unit, the doctor had told me that I said, sometimes it takes a fall for you to see where you stand.
So hey everybody, Mustang Monday, Kelly Orchard back again in the car with my friend Steve Nicholson. I know Steve from Rotary, but normally he follows me on Facebook too, and whenever I do live videos, he says, "Hey, BA," meaning badass. But I told him that that could have other meanings, so stop calling me that.
Well, I should say BF because I'm a big fan.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Well, before all this shutdown and everything happened, we had talked about you getting in the car and doing a Mustang Monday with me, and I had actually was going to approach you anyway. So we had this like boom, and then the world fell apart. So thankfully we're back in the car and we're able to do one now. And really, what we were talking about was that you have quite a story, and I want you to be able to share your story because it is so incredible. And so just tell them. Okay, so you're a car guy, and he said it's like anything car related, you call me. And so I did a couple times, and he has been tremendous help. But tell your story for them out there.
Well, I love what you just said about how the bottom dropped out, and because on the 29th day of April 2016, my bottom dropped out, and there were some rocks in a service drive. Fast forward, I went and got the service manager to use it as a teaching moment to say, hey, sweep these rocks up before someone breaks their neck. I was actually dropping my vehicle off at one of our stores to get an oil change. And while I was there, I slipped and fell, and I hit my head and suffered a traumatic brain injury, fractured a wrist, dislocated a hip. But in the process of all that, when I woke up in the ICU unit, the doctor had told me that I said, sometimes it takes a fall for you to see where you stand.
Okay.
And I thought...
Okay, hold on, that's beautiful. Say that again.
Sometimes it takes a fall
to see where you stand.
To see where you stand.
Yeah.
And in my case, I think that I think the Lord was telling me at that point that I needed to leave that organization. And I'd been there for so long, I just didn't want to do it. And but fast forwarding, as in through the next 18 months, it was a life changer for me. Going through speech therapy.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the brain injury, the traumatic brain injury, and what that meant. How long were you hospitalized?
Well, I was hospitalized only for a few short days.
Okay.
But then I was back in and out of therapy.
Right, because you had
going and see neurologists and MRIs.
You had to relearn everything, didn't you?
Everything.
So, okay, was your memory intact?
No.
Did you know who you were?
Pretty much. Some of that stuff I knew, but a lot of stuff that you think you would know, I didn't know.
Right.
Stuff that I knew from a long time ago that I probably had forgot, I remembered.
Right, the more embedded memories, right?
Correct.
The ones that are deeper.
Correct. And it was amazing, and going through what I went through with 4 or 5 neurologists, physical therapists, orthopedic people telling me I needed surgery on this or that. But through all of that, it was a real learning expedition for me to figure out. I mean, here I am, mature in my livelihood with relationships in the car business, and all of that was taken away. I mean, literally like that.
Right. Well, I think, and that's how he and I, we kind of bonded over that, because my heart issue, that I had in 2006 derailed my life and career too. Clearly not the same as Steve. So everybody has something different, but it is a matter of, it doesn't matter what happened, it's what you do with it afterwards.
No, 100%.
Right? So 100%. So, all right, so you've recovered, but it took a long time to relearn all these things, and your career was kind of taken away.
Well, everything was taken away, and then you start looking at, am I going to be able to afford my house? How am I going to be able to pay for my cars? How can I do this? How can I do that? On top of everything else you're worried about staying alive.
Yeah.
Because with a traumatic brain injury, and when you have a potential, you have 2 little like little blood spots, or they're called aneurysms, and they say, well, those could pop at any time.
Total fear.
They put you out on total disability, total fear.
Yeah.
You just go, my
life is over.
My life is wrecked.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Right. It's not. You just get a chance to rebuild.
Because I got to tell you something. I got a card in the mail from my father-in-law, and it had a picture of a frog. Excuse me, it had a picture of a bird. And there was a frog going inside the bird's mouth. And the frog's arms were outside of the bird's mouth. His whole head was in the bird's mouth. But the frog's hands were around the neck of the bird. And on the bottom of the card it said, "Never give up." And if I can give anyone advice today...
Is that your badass tip? Never give up.
That's my badass tip.
Yeah.
Just never give up.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when it's over. And you know, you ever see the movie Animal House with John Belushi?
It's been a while, but yes.
Okay, there's one of my favorite lines in that movie was he said, "Over? It's not over." He goes, "Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?" And the guy leans over and goes, "The Germans didn't bomb Pearl Harbor." And he goes, "Yeah, but it's okay. Don't stop him. He's on a roll." So what happens is, to that point, you get on a roll, and who can stop you?
Yeah.
The only person that can stop you is you.
Right.
And when I came to that realization that this wasn't about the neurologist or the speech therapist or the all of these people medical professionals I was going to see, it came down to one thing. It was about, hey, what are you going to do?
Right. What are you going to do about it?
And it was amazing.
That's a good question. Look at them and say that. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Right.
You know, and when you get an opportunity to never give up, you just can't.
Yeah.
It's just not an option.
Well, what's the alternative? What is the alternative?
Well, that is a very dark,
dark place I wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, no. And when you have the opportunity and the resources to go out and meet people like Kelly Orchard, she's going to change your life, and she's going to help you change your life.
And that's badass.
Because let me tell you something. The time that I've known her, she's helped me change my life.
Aww.
And the idea is that you're a vat of knowledge. And I have a saying about Rotary, and I know you when I first came there, I said, you'll never increase your net worth until you increase your network.
Yes.
And really what we're doing here today, this is networking. And forget about how much money or all of that. It's not really about that. Because your net worth is not about money.
No.
Your net worth is about self. You know, you say, what am I worth? Well, if you talk to my grandson thinks I'm priceless.
Yes. Well, it's what you give, right? That's what your worth really is what you have inside that you freely give. 100%. You know, and 100%. So, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Rotary Group. You know, you said networking, and you know, the world that I circle in and travel in is radio and psychotherapy. And radio and psychotherapy is about one thing: relationships.
Yes.
You know, but isn't all business really about relationships?
100%.
100%. So go out and get some relationships going. You know, when we talk about building relationships, never give up. If your life has been completely derailed, like Steve and I both, and that's how we bonded. He'd been watching some of the videos and following me, and we were getting better acquainted, because you were kind of new to Rotary just a year or so ago, right?
Yes.
And so we're still getting acquainted. And so one day after I recorded one with somebody, and I approached Steve, and he goes, I want to talk to you. I want to be on one of your Mustang Monday videos. And I'm like, I want to have you on. So it worked out really great. That's part of it. Never give up, and establish relationships with people, and don't be afraid to just ask for what you want.
Yes, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
And when they know how much you care, and Kelly, nobody cares more than you do.
Oh, well, this isn't about me, but thank you. But nobody cares more than you either, too, you know? Did I say that right? Nobody cares more than you?
But I think like-minded people, I think that's why...
gravitate towards each other.
No,
because
100%.
These helpers and healers. And I'm so glad that you know, it's like, I don't want to say I'm glad you had a head injury. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm glad that it may have been the best, worst thing that ever happened to you. And that's what I say about my heart issue. You know, is that it's the best, worst thing that happened to me, because it shifted my perspective. And it gave me the opportunity to help people.
Well, it was quite a wake-up call for me. So I ask all of you out there today, What's your wake-up call? What's happened in your life like that?
Yeah.
And don't give up.
Right. We're here for you.
And be badass.
You just ended it for me. All right, I'm going to do it. Okay, so everybody, first of all, you have to say where we are and what your place says this should really be called. It's not Mustang Monday. It is.
Well, just never forget this. It's a fun day when you buy a Hyundai.
Okay.
And I'm at Temecula Hyandai. I'm the director of operations here. We would love the opportunity to earn your business. So come on down and see us. We are an essential business. We're open. We're here 7 days a week, and we can't wait to meet you.
All right, everybody. I'm Kelly Orchard. This is Mustang Monday. This is Steve Nicholson from
Temecula Hyandai.
And you have to just say it with me, okay? We are reminding you to be bold.
Be bold.
Be brave.
Be brave.
Be confident.
Be confident.
Be badass.
Be badass.